confirm or deny Honorable Kennedy Agyapong were breaking away from the NPP? Anna?
Oh, Debbie. Susuda or near Hoda, a man in Trimuda, say, will break away from the NPP.
Kennedy, a compare with Japan, or dinner.
Aye, or dinner.
Or dinner. And no one the manner. And no sound old man hodo. In the base, no one catches a yanted the base. Yana, ye were a bontia, Ghana for a casse, omuni admire. Ye heard your man so air corner, and more my gun.
Sasuna can preach me boy.
And you will not come in and say,
Dabi Udi Neti support no. Now one of the main crux of the campaign was to make sure say a mebu benye jumaya na meboa.
That is a man who don't know.
I know, say regardless of whatever, Ken no in Japan.
Only
me say money trim that so be free NPP.
That it the base near NPP.
Please.
So far the super the cancer be saying
oh sending microphone at a crowd gym fubi na ebinum ye yaudie bi so ebinum ye yaudie bi a nipa bi na say crash bi kura wono ko tram bi ne na wototo ayampia na bi de mami
abusuan ena de MPP amonyokuyo wo moda wo mobeda papa wo moda wo mani bekum especially Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ya sese de nso no egujamu ani nyina ne se Kennedy akompreko Agyapong sese de wa pound wadana chi e de akire MPP amonyokuyo no ene ababedadwa se enye saa kora ena etie na Kennedy yede MPP na etwa ne fruma MPP na wadidi mu a waka ho bi ene ekekere MPP amonyokuyo edubu ahe time 1994 edi banyina no na ono Kennedy akompreko Agyapong wodi tintima wa MPP mu nti onim de enti enne se mpokura se bibia akoso amonyokuyo na se enye ne de enye ne fa obetimi adanani edi akire amonyokuyo ne da bida eno nti ensemu enem nam amonten ya manfo kekan ena obete desi bibidi the base ena yakopa hontuma ena Kennedy dia ena Kennedy ne di animu ena ono ebetu frank ade ama yi ya ene NDC amonyokuyo nyina ebo wo msem hia ede ma the base se eba ababeboa ama NDC nsusu sebe wo mu afuntakra kakra fere se the base ba enye NDC fo no oba betwe wo mu na mu MPP 43 pa ena eba abetwe wo mu eno enipa bebre no a ede nsem bia todwa ama ziga ya wo ye na adwuma wo Kesben FM mpo de ode nsem kura todwa wo kire se the base na wo mate no de ne botaye na nyese wo mo de ba be petumi se ye de ba se 2028 no ye nto abama ye ne mum wo botaye pa ne se wo mpeso mo de gu MPP fo anim ase se de be ye wo betwe bi free MPP na enisoade hunu a MPP fo anya se 2028 wo betimi akakọ win elections no wo betimi atwetwe mu a twetwe ni pani we free mu a se de be ya Dr. Bawumia onyampo no adi mampani ene esa bo Kennedy a ene bebo Bawumia nso yenko tie ziga mra ne ye ba ene Kennedy akompreko ono ane camp ene nsem a ode abeto abonten no yenya daje na yetie bi so Kennedy ya mpase basis chese ye man ho ma chimpo ana sesen Kennedy camp ene nsem so abeto abonten chese MPP ne ye mfiri mu ne emfiri mu china ye nyina ye de be kra bom ama Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia etimi edi nkunum yenko tie ziga mra
the base the base. But as for this one, be with people. Yes, okay. I need an eye contact on this one.
Okay.
The base. Before I bet you have to appreciate the history of this country when it comes to politics and go for a free politics, a free party. Aqua to Omakasa party. Now listen. I remember 2004. Obia better party biano an interest. Tell you, obi or better political party out of NPP or NDC, and you're only a interested meeting or the party, no, and yes, will be winning election.
Kesben 92.9.
O record at Agyapong, I didn't base. Their interest out of the base is not to win political power. Never be paid you mama mebru. It is never true. The reason why they are forming the political party, the interest they say, we have to make sure that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia does not become a president. That is all. That's all. They are making what I say. The agenda everything that he's doing is to make sure say Dr. Bawumia does not become a president. You pay obetimi agu the base. Me na make off. Interest there was adu e manu al bibia do bi. Akane no ade. Edia. Bibia no obiem. Just like Alan Chamatini, echo for me the movement, how am I movement? The idea is to make sure that NPP does not maintain break the eight. Why you need more this country? Why you so take part of the winning election? I bring NPP near this war. And I'm speaking based on information. Because since 1992, be a winning election that apart from NPP and NDC. So based on this information, any conformity party, I will mean 5%. No, make just workers will be at the party and your interest.
Okay. All right.
Jamaica, what I say, it's a big interest. Now listen, and focus. I'm coming. And focus. Oh, and Michael Quay, your friend say, report the buy and almost say you rack in the Japan for free party, and Nutina or Pese or Tene party. But that information came before and sana almost contested a presidential primaries. So if Saturday I inform you work in the Japan to form his own party, I didn't assign information in a long time no. And sana almost presidential primaries no. One can say any party no mu yame, mami chimo honame call for me my own party. Dan say obeko contest ewie and sana wakwa sad. A simple like ABCD. Okay. The Japan does not want to campaign for NPP for Samira Bawumia to become a first lady. There's a beef. Okay. One person of the campaigning for NPP to come to power. Now a bronye ababe national security cap. You better than yes or national security cap.
All right.
Men transfer sadness. Okay. And you pain. Yeah, which Ahithophel applied it and defeated later. All what I was saying is Obi Obeka say the base no biane and aba and those are near Moya campaign Edmo Racket in the Japan. Now you have your choice to choose Oracle in the Japan. Okay. But a catcher will say don't apply and be on sycophantic spelling a bootlicking approach.
Okay.
Na and dechi Obia on the Japan contest one show ya dachi a behia bag today. Muamudi Netinwa, more defty Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He say, well, okay. Or continue the base. It is either you join him decode the base, and I say you go and because some of the utterances no, irredeemable, irreversible. Okay. So bit tell radio so Dr. Bawumia a liar, why a liar, why a liar. Who did the Japan today? How do you go to Dr. Bawumia to reverse all these things? Right. That's why we are saying that in politics we don't inherit enemies. All right. Be very careful your utterances. And ubibia. Okay.
But as ya Frimpon Ziga ena yakakotie ne free husband ono ne nsem wode tudwa de onim efa the base a onom atie yi ho no eno ena wode nsem kakra ede atudwa na no da nchen a akwasi kwate Frimpon one spokesperson ede maken campaign yakase Canada Japan ne campaign team a watie nyina wono ena woye the final speaker as a baby be free can camp aba wonim de onenim de ekọ ena wodi hu adanse de free fie na ono ankasa woni nsem twirafo obonkomo ni wo bi akasa na wakire mu se Davida Kennedy akompre ko Japan on free NPP mu ne free mu chena de base na yate ne de nipa bi ena akakote ekuo ena omususu se eni so ade hu na yenye wo no ye hu se Ken so wo se eni so ade hu ni bi pa enti de NPP for de aye ni pa de onna na nchi emfama monyoku no omra meka ye ho na omra metu frank amfama ye na se ebe ye se enye ye de Ken ebe si ne wo mo ho wa na Ken enye na adwene so se oba be free NPP amnyoku yenko na yenko tie kwasi kwate Frimpon ensem wo de atudwa ede a kire nsem twerefo efa saa de we se ho ne ye wi a wo pani ya ono nso so ena edi animu the base financier wono watu ne botom akikiri the base kuei no wono so aka nsem ne bi kire se Kennedy no ye hu no Tony edi atu ne nso onje penie se oba be leader de amade base nti ka ya bo no nyina no ehyigu a yenya ne aboye ka yenko tie Frimpon mra
you Asia that was a Friday train then now the other one no.
Oh okay.
Anti Friday train then now pepe
Oh.
Nti one more ACI ewo Ira Kenfi. And one more Edidio Mohonkomo. Lukrenye me said you may inquire dream on the music grade. And said you the level of Comotricia and they said you who are involved with that. Look at them in the BP. A house in Zimbo, where a Quaco come.
Yes.
And a bizo and also Budibeka say for public consumption. But a PD and a quay who are booboos but Mecca say, Lingina, you say, said you because of the supreme interest of the party, no, ever quenimu. Na Mecca say, a finding in a or no, Mecca said you rather Bawumia, the son quad or a flabber, and join the new option.
Sure.
So Bahama be a coso.
Sure.
Sana, you are cancel. Or no so a wakoma, I also per se, a dear baby be a partner. I could be honest bay. At least I can reference him for one comment. Or say that dear may be a emphata ana entene. Said you a best say with chances, and I say a beer a bema party in why day a buffet.
And where Asama or catch a flag bearer, I will meet in Wemo.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, no, you were no nay. A year and a comia and or no Kenson and a year. It was a very private, confidential meeting. Or no, a year. But
the meeting was at the instance of wine a fair meeting, no?
Oh, no, I'm not sure. I have the clearance to put those information out.
Okay.
But the minimum say, and of course, what is most important is that and penny for me, you know, Eddie's answer was so no.
Okay.
In a positive direction.
Okay. Was it a meeting at ABR? Never sanka happened earlier, but for busy schedules in tea and to me, I'm so not feeling it me abaswana.
Oh, there be said, who say, already no. Who's on social media and the impression and the narrative you are creating is and now say the understanding any person could get and they say you look at Dara and I'm in Timmy who has to be a day. And Amakwe say, what is almost your cry?
Yes.
Nanka Sebu party in penny for you. Eddie, Senka Bako contest, we said you must have your back, Munumbi about Kwasanka. And for so be anyhow.
Yes.
And now be watching a way so we know we be done. Thank you for so be anyhow.
That's true.
But it's how said the narrative has been run on social media, mainstream media, and I'm acquire news. But no credit say from one woman in our side, no, I see be anyhow. We say about all the said you and you're feeling in a week away, now we are away. And the idea I support a crab but in penny force the whole any day in the and Obi the BIA see a funny affair and can and don't say about his university and Bonnie be but them say and Comono courses are you crack any classic a babonting. I mean
coincidentally, no, it's story no ever out to meet the was it the launch of the base, say a movement was a political party ENRA, and I remember say immediately after the launch, no enemy who's our story and so popping up on social media. A sheer coincidence now if we say a story that was put out to counter any effect be at the base launch na the
I think for me my focus will be more on the impact of the story. Sebu nipa bi or the baby na akwan fa so ba bia no isu say even the motive plan na papa na nkoba say e bia you ken
yes
said the nipa ni susu no wa twen ho who say obi so ba twen ho every party ho especially the level of care no
yes
ye ntwe ho by conduct to wo the kata ba kwa akoma general secretary say party wo na anyon dey onyon bi Say you has said no more say only me penny could be a Musamu.
Yes.
Anna, won him Ken. Or to say you or Japatia and can I energy.
Yes.
And can or better person who see the Ekano. But who say so you also have to be sensitive to Obia how respond to idea. Penino who say a very tense contest. Was it in conducted regional election, constituency elections, polling station, one election. Let that process go. But also for now, no, also focus on the business kaka. Election yako. Yes, papa. And you got to go who's the one of the class show. And you go to press as it can be a asim. James said, a comb your kaka now, why you know. And any panu be no,
who else are we?
Ken the next hour to do so okasa. Tinano onkasa. But any person should there. What I say, but all in all, no, media me come out on the media. Me no can say Ken or China. Or your business one to be. But last Friday, before I may call Asante Atem Saturday, I quite ye been. Many shy. Young Koma ye did na se kubie or do womb say. Only your dear my party. But who say base na one more can one seminal.
Yes.
I say any pedu or no more bank can one more SIA base. But Obi, no crepa say my major concern is not really about those who are doing the base. And the second now who was me and the boss. Sorry, me and Aquala.
Sure.
But some of me NPP. Other than people don't attribute him to NPP.
Yeah.
But the fundamental point is not whether or not Dr. Tibo is a beso. It is say, are there any concerns or grievances in here? Yes, you say, a man something for we etusana mono. For me, Obi, media Fidebefa, media before a few days Jatway, say a book question on Brassel Castle. May am penning for Yana. Because meaning, me say, I send a black MPP. Me say, I say some Dodge MPP. Minimization is a Haruna Drush, Manabo more in the baby. Some penny for in a normal MPP. And then they feel sure a better TikTok by Ira Humama Ama by Ira Marcus and almost all MPP for you. And it's an able boba, then the penum be so more one. The question is not who is behind it. The question should be more of what are their grievances. Let's quickly intervene and stop them. Not 2020. For me, that is my concern.
But I don't know. But maybe because Honorable Ken is in China, not only Ghana, ninti. But Enra, social videos a free launch of the base Hoba and some of the speakers at Kasai. I mean, they found a way of mentioning Honorable Ken Edi, even though you could see say other people push you say Omunyai, but they found a way of mentioning his name, say Onani Obi Omo Peso Babedi Ghana name and all of that. I mean, from your interactions with Ken or Tisan seminar, is he not worried?
I think is a very valid question, and of course. One even though I do not agree with them, their concerns are also very valid. I mean, I think it's people who are maybe overly desirous of a personality. So, between in society and in Kenya, Ghana and the party, and for that reason, they have chosen that path. But Ken, as a person, or your penny, and everything they be to me, I can say. The offer. But what I can confirm to you, they say, in as much as there are two priorities of him as of now. One, in the business. I also want to which you know the usual can.
Sure.
And the second has to be say, on party, and he still has the interest of the party at heart. But Obi, that should even remind you, say, one of us can almost say, we are going to convince Ken. What did I say?
Absolutely.
It presupposes that first of all, they don't even have his hearing. And I say, he's not even part of them. I feel no more the alcohol convincing. Obi asem the paper on Aquara. I cannot say, omit my convincing, I was coming to me at the end convincing. You are more they can capture me, and then come on me, quite and then an amount would in how to the no money there. May would give you 100% to say, or MPP. And I'm talk about we so yeah. A video down for
yes.
Who's the no the MPP flag I had a sitting thing. Then the pass said you were the MPP, or the MPP flag I had a sitting thing. Those concerns can come. Obi, sometimes people can overly wish you well to the extent that one here they can even wish you well than how you wish yourself.
Yeah.
And that is what is happening. But ultimately, there ought to be demonstration of leadership. Party leadership has to step in. I know that there is also a role by Ken to play. But until then, no, I feel say whatever concerns that whether it's valid, assuming it's not even valid. You're penning for general secretary, you're flag bearer and penning for everybody. Let's engage there. And then maintain Mr. Tibonsu, what are his concerns? And the end also GDO came when you GDO BM. Young China says I GDO came mono, say GDO now, a bit when there, a boy you rather about me, yet my quiet, the Aquarian. The good is Ningina, ye Cassa, a dear home command, Bibi Abejo.
But do you have Honorable Ken's assurance, like 100% assurance, under no circumstance would he leave the NPP? Wama's assurance, no.
Menena Casa. When I'm the last Friday, the whole of Vivi never in the Wolfie or let Nigeria Nipa Baku community. The beer Niwa, why ya a dead, if you say, will be free and people. So, let's say you, also any part of sometimes you give people the time to also heal. What I say, Sebi, or call election, I mean, 1870 if you are, and what damn Nigerian Juma, just want a panel and party, I want to child do say, you know, Bibi Saba, Tada, Uko Chikaka, go to home for Kakra. And that state is very natural. What I say, one more way saying, I'm not catch about video, social media, catch about say, Lily Palmer about that no may campaign, Mam. But to be sure, I can no maybe see Dr. Bawumia, no so day. Uncle Ye. And Nina, if are, Obi, a same wing, ye canoe them near the Gatua, Domu, a catcher who say, aha, a chi, aha, yet be ya. It never come Mokuyan. Okay. Me a Jim Biami who in the sign Bia say, you are Ken, or so a jab pattern, baby, on time beside.
And that would mean, sir, even if the base numbers no should increase exponentially within say the next 6 months, for example. Na Omudi Jantua Betronabo Ken and him, he will not join the base.
Obi so can I look at so bit my don't force you to do Obi so qualify you when you need penia or journalist who are using the background and no Michelle me uncle Michelle go for the and me first and September. O charu finish it with him no uncle. Oh
yeah.
What to say I am my to shoot that classmate no. Mr. na age more that is a court. Which we say your muko fa ken na ya. Say ya joko. So no mo yo majuma.
So kwesi my na say bibia ni e be se ba be din komo bio. Why? Wish you well. Kwesi kwaten ekasa edema Honorable Kennedy Agyapong science a private legal
city true personal Safi Ashanti region na eba na clearly it tells you say also one of the base the NPP for no so no we back as someone who din age na pa. We've had names Yatiti din a woman also mbodin there, but clearly one of the big names Ayate, which of course your name say now in the year Juma na so support on when it comes to a election has to do with the Ura Ken Agyapong onakasa muntu na numutu se oka eye base ho anase onim ho bibi de na enso no ne kasamafo fa obi te se kwaten abeka se eye base ne de Ura Ken Agyapong enim ho hwe se onim ho hwe a what do you expect Ken to say anka unyanka Ken nkasa kase onka ho bi meboa
Kennedy a compare ko Japan odine ho
ngai
odine ho ana onim de yema no ana san wo man ho do entine the base no nya wona ka che say yenti the base yena ye wo abonten a Ghana for e kase omunyi adwuma ye ne ye hwede o man so e ko no a emmoa o man Ghana
sa so na Ken preach meboa
and you want to come in say
that be udi na chi support no na one of the main crux of the campaign was to make sure say emabunu benye adwuma ya na meboa
na say o man ho do no
yes entina make say we support na wonim say saade ne ba ko that was the key thing na odi hu nkomo ye pa
na say o here Canada Dear no here was see o wiase.
Ofu said into non kasai.
Dinti on kasai no. And the mint no video so kasa say minimum dinti on kasai.
Enti yenji de kwaku kwate mo kanentum. Se kwesi kwate sorry. Kwesi kwate mo kanentum se on ka ho.
Kwate so de na okasama team ni nyina
yes.
Ba ya to abanu wie de o kan bia no o kama ono nko anwo on kama me say na me ka team no ho na me fundraising chairman entino say me ne kwatena asen ka asen bi na say ono de ba bonten council of elders na me say kan ho bi na say ono ba bonten be kan ye no ye wie entino obi bia ehye ne tirim de yesu bitma ya mo abo Ghana na ehye ye bo ano de abo man Ghana
enti de kwesi kwaten kan ne de ofano trad sa say enya de a ususu say fiken ho right
akwesi kwaten o kan ono na dwene
enti na dwene o kan ye no
bia ono kan up position wo NPP enti no obeka ne de say Bawumia mo bebo no amane bibia ye enti of course
kwesi kwaten kan say ne be ya Bawumia amane bibia ye
now so
kwesi kwaten speaks for a Ken campaign team. You were the fundraising chairman and a committee chairman. Now, mu spokesperson abeka say ye kasa CCA the base na ye kan ho asem.
Open but abana to wi anse ntunwe.
Ya to wi.
Nti to wi ofiachira abufo ni ho ntine sese no hwana okasa ma no sese ya. Hwana everything ya wi adena na okasa ma no ya wi o.
Unyi ni second na ka chen so be kan che Ghana man na.
Enye omu no asem. Ye ma for the base. Kwesi kwatin kan o the base ye ma.
Se ochina bi na owura kan Agyapong be ka se base no nim ho hwe a. Will you be surprised?
Oh, because oni mu ho hwe na say wiase ense ye. And then so ense wiase. De nyame aka no ebebam. Ama the base no say the base.
Ma komani ma me pem
da bia de chi bia ye koyenim. Adechi bia ye koyenim.
Is it a breakaway from a NPP and Obi Nkasa?
Said you who be an fanasa.
Say na wo hu no.
Medium o ka kire me say me former NPP me wa.
Yes, former NPP financier.
Enti gina so na fa bua. En say senka president ya nka wo ka say me wo. Demike so what you say yi pa. Obi a o former there. En say onye be talent.
So it's a breakaway.
That's all.
Lessons learned. You who said omo break away from the NPP piano seem somewhat do not clearly survive some way. A typical example is what we've seen Alansha Martin do, our Kofa movement by, and also it was movement. Today it is EP. Now, another breakaway, a fee, was side, but now a former person of the NPP. Now, would you survive? Some of these things necessities,
Okay.
Yes, sir.
For NDC, omo a titi womo. For NPP omo tete wo mo na bra bontin sesi na ho the base e just sumo e free aseba the base no ye se bia e free prekoba na ebe wo enipa na pie Ghana for na pie se enima bi afunu ye Alan de ono na kwati ne party ada yi so obi na form the party but the base ni de ababru mabru na asore se e bombaji Ghana si wo bombaji Ghana so si wo nti omo na free the base and the base na every Ghana for party ben na shas yeah Alan other mo shas basse the base ba
because Alan was popular, you know that
so ni the popular say individual no enonko but what the dominant na every say the base
domo mu fi hin en fi NPP party man na Ghana mine
the base no ma NPP no ma NDC ignoma Ghana man nyina say embabunu eni da so ne say yen here CPP for yen here akwedonko yen here obia o man ho adwene bia papa bia yen here obia the base
confirm or deny Honorable Kennedy Agyapong were breaking away from the NPP ana?
Oh, Debbie. Susuda. Onye hoda. A man in Trimuda. Say, Obi breaking away from the NPP. Obi, you only say, oh yeah, Kendini now subject to any processor. You should be ready to embrace the outcome of such process. And so I was already also to do. Of course, we had high hopes, party for the trouble, era can. But what moves to us is different. That means to see different. Ekobasa, the whole year in the spirit of true sportsmanship, and of course in the spirit of good faith nature, say, Obejatum, na Africa for Nkabo. And Osha, and that can lose you. Among contestants in only the Kaba Bekasaye, a prayer for Nkabo. We know so quickly why. A bra one more call party headquarters to make the official declaration. Not for penny no. I also a prayer for Nkabo. Now, also, my text message, I'm a delegate to be so in rally behind Dr. Bawumia. And he said, you, young Kubi, ya, Dibia, and non chesse, Openino, or Faso. Said you second, the young Kone, Jomahama, and Tessa Jomama, Bibia Mendis in Tia, or Endis in Yana. The young Kupane, Mr. Chamatin, Alan. The Alan, where you piano, movement for change, just where Alan Yana. I want to state emphatically, second. On free MPP, more that. Some Kasamano. But
Yes.
Today I was also on TV, more so as a member of the New Patriotic Party.
Mm-hmm.
And at every point, the SAE be to protect the values and the objective of the party.
Okay, what may have heightened speculation, would be say. Since the declaration of results, said Yawakano, Honorable Ken, reaching out, congratulating and all of that, but we've seen other aspirants, say Omakofi, Chiano, asking congratulating the further. We've seen Educhum, we've seen Engineer Kwabene Agyapong. Yenhu say Honorable Ken, Etusana Mono. Number 2, Enra Thanksgiving service, of course, who UPSA, conspicuously absent, na Honorable Ken. Don't you think, sir, San Newman may have heightened that speculation and the believability of the story online?
I mean, I do agree with you that in terms of, say, a full of such speculations in India, it can be justifiable, say, but the fact remains unchanged. That in terms of the man's commitment to the party, I'm broken, I'm shaking, unresolved, and unchanged. But Obi, most of the take a credit, so they mean your opinion or you may need to be able. I don't know when this convention began. You judge a NIPA commitment to a party, and then loyalty to a party. Say, Obi, we need election. Now I'm going to just on supporting NIPA. I don't mean the type of. To be very honest, this is the first time I'm seeing it. Say, Obi, we need prime minister. We have to gather ourselves and go to Nipakofi. Apart from say publicly, ya bon abaso, ya commend no, ya congratulating no. I also call to the extent that say, we have to now place a new interpretation on it, such as say, on supporting Nipakofi. The party you blame a bit about your feet. You want quite just on support. I don't know how anytime we try to create complex barriers for ourselves and try to create assumptions and speculations, which most of them are unfounded. Say, no, maybe home. I don't know when this became a convention. So we need lecturer. I also Tenefi, now Obi Baho, to Amaho, I support. Again, on the issue of second and Timan call National Thanksgiving service, I get it because he's a senior member of the party and the rational expectation is a which might the apple. But the truth is, the man was out of town. Just like President Kufuor was out of town, President Kufuor was out of town, Dr. Sampo was out of town, and they all couldn't go. Ken was also out of town.
Enra, not Honorable Ken, ni Ghana.
Enra, which is Sunday, Ken was out of town.
Oh, and he's still out of the country, I suppose.
No, he's back.
Not Obada Bayano pay.
Oba no anumre.
Anajo buy na event na pon.
Yes. Saturday I met him. Me no enya ne ne family call lunch kakra. Owie na otia ne na kakra because now owo an existing. We say Ken we lose election no on Saturday. Sunday and you call Bernard Hokoda na say. Monday not Okojuma and he started his business engagements and everything. The me kana me ha me buy ya she I feel did him come on time maybe have lunch and one go feel and he went out of town. Na sebu emu de untimi nkyere or a family man. E bia yare wo bia the pa ho do no bia business deal bia say. But he was not around. And it's na went man the armor.
And he was not around, meaning say he was in Ghana but not in Accra.
Obi, he was out of town. That is the most important information that I can give.
Say Obi a uhu ni Saturday a muko didi ye. Na event nso ye Sunday. Na say otu kwan ba Sunday anwumra na abrochire no ana say Ghana
happen. Obi say you usia business partners wo Nigeria kura na Togo kura ba say you are out of town. What I say?
Okay.
Say I don't have the permission to put
baby, I'll call you. That's fine. But at least you can confirm, say he was invited for the event.
Oh, certainly he was in the know. I cannot pretend that he was not in the know. That's a proper name. But I'm just saying, it drew South Grenadier. The whole of Sunday, who knew Kumuha. And until now, Pedino and Timmy other day. But no, it's there.
On my now on my hand, it's all question, but could be more enough him at was man. Yes.
Oh, well, a text message invitation. I mind a Bible quotation be with Diana.
Minister say text message no, but say a text message invitation and on your Bible quotation and I was say kind event na say.
No, we need the full details of the invitation. But the minimum say no onim. Okase no onim dia na eno de mintimi hu sa dance na onim. It was in the know. But I'm saying say na ene ni dwumadi bia wo di out of town so aye de Asia.
Okay.
Sebio or change essence wha eni. So no no kwa say you Brian so enti mama.
Yeah, almost went to me, I'm sure it's true. It's true. I get you. But Lawyer Kwesi Kwatin.
Lawyer was able to.
No, we brutal. Charlie, my nurse na yemfa insi. Wahu. Bibiania. Ye besan so aba bidin komobio. Me gidi se de waka no party for ni nyina tie o. Waka isi dia se under no circumstance na honorable Ken ebe twen ho de free NPP. He still remains a committed member. Party for expect to say he would be out there to campaign for Dr. Bawumia, right? That's fine. Kwesi my se bibia ni ebesa aba bidin komobio. Why?
I shall in free here. Said okay 2024 no. Not we na one candidate, a very strong candidate, Alan. Or say my free party no. Nim say ha mo pa. Figures I came now more voters so tie na ne ka ho bi. But we de nyame adom to we no munhu bibia sa. Unity with the candidates no. They say now we are Thanksgiving no. Ye hu can Agyapong ho, ye hu Brian ho, but a dana will to about we don't can say they are going to support him. I'm can we jump keke and as underground who's still at the support today.
Oh, yeah, my information. I'm say Adebechi ama sorry no. Na me bisa say where are they? Cause ni bisa omunyina. Kabina responded say Oba. A friend saying Aduchum responded say Onoso Oba. And they ente Ken any Brian Enka. And Tibi Bisano and a minyan in TSA Omotia Monechi Kakra. Nipa Mino and the Arizan comes back with the former presidents. Former President Kufuado. Senia in Bia, most of them would master for a motti, you know. That Commonwealth for Amano a call Bangladesh abattoir. Ntina on Sunni Omanu. Na nti ɛna ɔma chief of staff former chief of staff ABC na nine president Kofo nso na Nigeria for eto omonsa efre no hema ono so ekodi dwumadi kakra me say ade be kina najo me meda na najo ene obeduriye ene me say pani ene ahode nti se kane no nti em say oba na bon ho na emo imi do nanka opese oba and eventually no yes baby adu no ahode ni mani ntimi ba nti na ono so ntimi ama na nye bo apaye nti now I'm told Ken is back nti we are having some discussions. In fact nekrambu mi du nkranya menini nua ba ko nhyiamu a yekodi efiada no ansa na me fi nkran anopa menini hyiae edi enkomo ma anamo a na ono so otu boambeti na we need to talk further minia kuguo bia ni wa ni gisem kuguo bia ya especially in this case when he thought he was going to win. I said you come chef for crab mu say we di kunim and many ade say bibisa aba to be like a hurricane nti ebe buto so ya di bebem nti ma cheju kakra then you start to talk I'm say I know say regardless of whatever Ken no Agyapong me say emanitim da so be free NPP
that it the base ni NPP
please
so far the super sabe ka say bibia say ni ho
say ni microphone atakra we jemfu bi na ebinom ye yaudie bi so ebinom ye yaudie bi a nipa bi na say crash bi kura wono ko tran baby ni e na wototo ayampia na bi de mami so wono em say asembinti ni bofu Dr. Bawumia say anya Bawumia na akrambu asemo obi asem obi a oben Dr. Bawumia ene woni ni nya asem asem no e court ni buama nipa na oben Dr. Bawumia no Dr. Bawumia no tie no kwa say no say ni asitie no nipa wo NPP ni to ne sa friends ombra na ka munni ho komo yen hwe asem no pomesi bre even after court ni bua no this man decided to go. What you say? But if he no, she say he has never forgiven Bawumia. And then Agyapong got on contested. Me fan say Agyapong contested and Ray. And get about be a bias on the Bawumia be contested about support to say any man. And will be a Bawumia so they are that a benny one or to be a man. Say the nano about Kumasi Musa station because to be man me. I don't respond to those things. Yeah, that's animal me family because otherwise they be you be responding to obi akaka have a chairman's abunso and I say to me I don't respond to those things. I focus on the how many so and nipa etwa so far ho a be kwa animu no that person will be exposed say nipa no nyalo kwafo what you say no kwatna radio no so no need was o chairman's abunso onye serious mame me just serious. Nobody did actually do serious, but you don't respond to those things. What you say? Then you move on. Cause okay, so we chira. Man kabu cry. Also, why did me Bruni say it takes two to tango. Yeah. Say the baby in the echo. Ekondoka. We born one money beer. Toka biamba. What you say? Na I know abuama yaka. Right.
Ana we yamra ne hwe say mo wie flag bearership no say mo ba be sase